Chapter 1, Malina's Glimmering Secret. In a quiet corner of the bustling town of Whiskerwood, there lived a cat unlike any other. Malina was her name. She had fur as black as midnight, with streaks of silver that shimmered like moonlight. But that wasn't the only thing that set her apart. Malina's hair, unlike that of other cats, grew long, almost to the ground, and it sparkled as though it had captured stardust. The other cats in Whiskerwood often marveled at her beauty, but they never quite understood why she kept to herself. Malina wasn't shy, but she had a secret she was determined to protect at all costs. Every morning as the sun rose, Malina would carefully brush her long hair with a special comb she had found as a kitten. It was made of polished silver, engraved with mysterious symbols that seemed to glow faintly whenever she touched it. She didn't know where it came from, but she felt a deep connection to it, as though it had been meant for her all along. "Malina, are you coming to the market today?" called out a friendly tabby named Jasper, poking his head through her open window. Malina glanced at the comb in her paw and hesitated for a moment. She knew that the market was where all the cats gathered, and she wasn't sure if she was ready to be around so many others just yet. "Not today, Jasper," she replied with a small smile. "I think I'll stay home and work on my garden." Jasper's eyes twinkled with understanding. "All right, but you know you're always welcome to join us whenever you're ready." Malina nodded as Jasper trotted off. She watched him disappear down the cobblestone path before turning back to her mirror. Her long, heavenly hair seemed to glow brighter in the morning light, and she couldn't help but wonder, what was the true power behind her hair? That night, as the moon hung high in the sky, Malina stood by her window, gazing out at the stars. She felt a pull, a connection to something greater, something she couldn't quite explain. Her hair flowed gently in the night breeze, and for a brief moment she swore she could hear a soft voice calling her name. "Malina." Startled, she turned around, but the room was empty. Was she imagining things, or was there truly something magical about her hair? Little did she know, this was only the beginning of a journey that would take her far beyond the quiet town of Whiskerwood into a world of enchantment, mystery, and adventure. Given that the heavenly haired revolves around Malina, her unique hair, and the unfolding mystery, I'd predict that the book might have around 10 to 15 chapters. Sure. Here's Chapter 2 of The Heavenly Haired. Chapter 2, The Whispering Wind. The next morning, Malina awoke with a sense of unease. The soft voice that had called her name the night before lingered in her mind, like a half-remembered dream that refused to fade. She couldn't shake the feeling that something or someone was trying to reach out to her. As she stepped outside, the world seemed unusually quiet. The usual morning chirps of birds were softer, the wind gentler. Malina took a deep breath, trying to clear her thoughts, but the wind carried something with it, a whisper that sent a shiver down her spine. "Malina?" There it was again, faint but unmistakable. She glanced around, but no one was in sight. Was she losing her mind, or was the wind truly calling her name? Determined to find answers, Malina decided to visit the old oak tree at the edge of Whiskerwood. The ancient tree was rumored to hold secrets, and some said that if you listened closely enough, you could hear its wisdom in the rustling leaves. As she approached the oak, its towering branches stretched high into the sky, casting long shadows across the ground. Malina sat down beneath its mighty trunk, closing her eyes and listening. The wind picked up, rustling the leaves, and for a moment everything was still. Then a voice, clearer this time, as if the wind itself were speaking to her. "Malina, you are the keeper of the heavenly hair. Your destiny is woven in the stars." Malina's eyes flew open. "Who's there?" she called out, her voice trembling. But the wind had quieted, leaving only the sound of the leaves swaying gently above her. She looked up, hoping to catch a glimpse of something, anything, that could explain the mysterious voice. But all she saw were the tree's branches, silhouetted against the sky. "What does it mean?" she whispered to herself. "Keeper of the heavenly hair? Destiny woven in the stars?" None of it made any sense. Just as she was about to leave, a soft glow caught her eye. Nestled in the roots of the old oak tree was a small, shimmering object. Curiosity piqued, Malina reached down and carefully picked it up. It was a tiny, intricately carved pendant, shaped like a crescent moon. The moment her paw touched it, a warmth spread through her, and she felt a surge of energy unlike anything she had ever experienced before. The pendant seemed to hum with power, and as she held it, the silver streaks in her hair began to glow brighter. Malina stared at the pendant in awe. This was no ordinary trinket. It was connected to her, to the mystery of her hair, and perhaps even to her destiny. But what was she supposed to do with it? And why had it appeared now, after all these years? Continuing Chapter 2. Malina cradled the pendant in her paws, feeling its warmth pulse like a heartbeat. Her mind raced with questions. Was this pendant the key to understanding her hair's powers? Why had it revealed itself to her now, after so many years? She carefully placed the pendant around her neck. As soon as the chain touched her fur, a tingling sensation spread through her body, and the whispers in the wind grew louder. This time, the voice was clearer, filled with an ancient wisdom that sent shivers down her spine. Seek the Star Spring. The Star Spring? Malina had never heard of such a place, but she knew, deep down, that she had to find it. The wind, the pendant, her hair, it was all connected. And if she wanted answers, she had to follow the voice wherever it led her. Her heart pounded in her chest as she stood up and looked out at the horizon. Whiskerwood, with all its familiarity and comfort, suddenly felt small. The world beyond beckoned to her, a vast, mysterious place filled with unknown dangers, and possibly the truth she'd been seeking her entire life. But before she could even think about leaving, she knew she needed guidance. There was one cat in Whiskerwood who might have the answers she sought. Elder Whisk, the oldest and wisest of all the cats in town. He lived in a secluded corner of the forest where few dared to venture, but Malina knew she had to find him. With newfound determination, Malina hurried back to her cozy little home and packed a small bag. She filled it with the essentials: her favorite brush, a small bottle of milk, and a blanket. Before leaving, she took one last look at herself in the mirror. Her long, silvery hair cascaded down her back, glowing faintly in the dim light of her room. The pendant around her neck seemed to hum with energy, as if urging her to move forward. "I don't know what's out there," Malina whispered to her reflection, "but I'm ready to find out." With that, she slipped out of her home and headed toward the forest. The path was overgrown with bushes and vines, but Malina pushed through, her heart pounding with both fear and excitement. She could hear the wind whispering in the trees, guiding her deeper into the woods. As she walked, the forest seemed to close in around her, its shadows growing darker and more mysterious. But Malina pressed on, trusting the voice that had led her this far. After what felt like hours, she finally reached a small clearing, where a gnarled old tree stood tall and proud. At the base of the tree sat Elder Whisk, his fur a soft weathered gray, and his eyes wise and knowing. He looked up as Malina approached, his gaze settling on the pendant around her neck. "I see you found the moonstone pendant," Elder Whisk said, his voice raspy but kind. "I've been waiting for this day, Malina." "You've been waiting for me?" Malina asked, surprised. Elder Whisk nodded slowly. "Yes, child. Your hair, your destiny, the Star Spring, it has all been foretold. You are the keeper of the heavenly hair, and the Star Spring holds the key to unlocking your true power." Malina's heart raced. "But what is the Star Spring? And why me? I've never understood why my hair is different, why it glows." Elder Whisk smiled, a gentle glimmer in his eyes. "The Star Spring is a place of great magic, hidden deep within the world. It is said that those who find it can unlock the secrets of the universe. And as for why you, Malina, you were chosen, just as the moonstone pendant chose you. Your hair is a gift, a connection to the magic that flows through the stars themselves. But you must find the Star Spring to fully understand your power and to protect it." Malina's paws tingled with excitement and fear. She had always felt different, but this was beyond anything she had imagined. "Where do I find it?" she asked, her voice trembling with anticipation. Elder Whisk's gaze grew distant, as if he were looking beyond the physical world. "The journey will be long and filled with challenges. The Star Spring is hidden in the forgotten peaks, far beyond Whiskerwood. But be warned, Malina, many have sought it and few have returned. The path is dangerous and you must be prepared. Malina took a deep breath, her heart steadying. I'm ready, she said, determination burning in her eyes. Elder Whisk nodded solemnly. Then go, child. Follow the wind and let the stars guide you. Your journey begins now. With those final words, Malina turned toward the distant mountains that loomed on the horizon. The forgotten peaks called to her, their jagged silhouettes a promise of adventure and discovery. And as she set off on her journey, the wind whispered around her, carrying her forward into the unknown. Here's Chapter 3 of The Heavenly Haired. Chapter 3, A Heart Unveiled. The days passed slowly as Malina made her way through the dense forest, following the whispers of the wind. The pendant around her neck remained warm, guiding her steps with an almost magnetic pull. She was still far from the forgotten peaks, but she felt she was moving closer to her destiny with every step. One afternoon, as she climbed a steep hill, Malina caught sight of a shimmering lake nestled in a valley below. The water sparkled under the sunlight, and the sight of it filled her with a sudden sense of peace. She decided to take a break from her journey and descended toward the lake, eager to rest and drink from its clear waters. As she approached, she noticed that she wasn't alone. A figure sat at the edge of the lake, staring out at the water. It was a sleek gray cat with emerald green eyes, his fur glistening in the sunlight as though touched by the stars themselves. Malina felt a strange pull toward him, her heart skipping a beat. She had never seen him before, yet there was something familiar about him, something that made her feel as though she had known him all her life. The cat turned his head and caught sight of Malina. He smiled warmly and stood up, his movements graceful as he approached her. "Hello there," he said, his voice smooth like the gentle breeze. "I don't often see other travelers here. Are you lost?" Malina shook her head, still caught in his gaze. "Not lost," she replied, "just on a journey." The gray cat tilted his head slightly, his eyes curious. "A journey, you say? To where, if you don't mind me asking?" "To the forgotten peaks," Malina said, her voice soft but resolute. "I'm searching for the Star Spring." The cat's eyes widened in surprise. "The Star Spring? That's no ordinary journey. Only those with a special destiny seek it." He looked down at the moonstone pendant around her neck and nodded knowingly. "I see. You must be the keeper." Malina's breath caught. "How do you know that?" The cat smiled, his green eyes twinkling with a hint of mystery. "I've heard the stories. The keeper of the heavenly hair, destined to find the Star Spring and unlock its secrets. My name is Orion," he said, bowing slightly. "And you are?" "Malina," she answered, her heart fluttering at the sound of his name. "It's nice to meet you, Orion." Orion sat beside her on the grass, his gaze returning to the sparkling lake. "The Star Spring is a powerful place," he said softly. "But the path to it is filled with challenges. You'll need more than just strength. You'll need someone by your side." Malina looked at him, her heart pounding. "Are you offering to help me?" Orion chuckled, his laughter like music. "Perhaps I am. I've been wandering these lands for a long time, searching for something I couldn't quite put into words. But now, meeting you, it feels like I've found what I was looking for." Malina's cheeks flushed with warmth. She had never expected to meet someone like Orion on her journey, someone who seemed to understand her in a way no one else ever had. "Then, will you come with me?" she asked, hope flickering in her chest. Orion smiled, his gaze softening. "I will. Together, we'll find the Star Spring." The two of them sat in comfortable silence for a while, watching the ripples dance across the surface of the lake. Malina couldn't help but steal glances at Orion, her heart swelling with something new, something she hadn't felt before. It was more than just the excitement of her journey, it was the beginning of something deeper. As the sun began to set, casting golden light across the water, Malina realized that her journey had taken an unexpected turn. She had set out to find the Star Spring and uncover the secrets of her hair, but now she had also found someone who made her feel like she wasn't alone in the world. Orion turned to her, his emerald eyes reflecting the fading light. "We should rest here for the night," he said gently. "Tomorrow, we continue our journey together." Malina nodded, feeling a sense of calm settle over her. As she lay down beside the lake, with Orion close by, she knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, she could face them. Not just because of her hair's mysterious power, but because she had found something even more powerful, love. Here's a continuation of Chapter 3. Just as Malina began to drift off into a peaceful sleep, a rustling sound from the nearby trees snapped her awake. She sat up, her fur bristling with unease. Orion was already alert, his emerald eyes narrowing as he scanned the surrounding area. "Did you hear that?" Malina whispered, her voice barely above a breath. Orion nodded, his body tense and ready. "We're not alone." Before either of them could react, a shadowy figure emerged from the trees, moving swiftly toward them. Malina's heart sank as she recognized the figure, her maid, Verona. But this wasn't the kind, gentle maid who had looked after her as a kitten. This was the darker side of Verona, a side that had always lingered just beneath the surface. Verona's eyes gleamed with malice, her sharp claws glinting in the moonlight as she approached. "So, you thought you could escape me, did you, Malina?" she sneered. "Running off on some foolish quest with your new friend here." "Verona!" Malina gasped, standing up and backing away. "What are you doing here? How did you find me?" Verona laughed, a cold and bitter sound that sent shivers down Malina's spine. "Did you really think I wouldn't know where you'd go? You've always been predictable, Malina, always chasing after things beyond your grasp. But you can't outrun your fate." Orion stepped protectively in front of Malina, his muscles tense as he faced Verona. "Leave her alone," he said firmly. "She's done nothing wrong." Verona's eyes flicked to Orion, her lips curling into a cruel smile. "Ah, the charming hero. How quaint. But you don't know what you're dealing with. Malina's power doesn't belong to her. It belongs to me." Malina's eyes widened in shock. "What are you talking about? My hair, it's mine." Verona shook her head slowly, her voice dripping with venom. "Oh, you poor, naive kitten. Your hair is special, yes. But it's not just a gift. It's a curse. And I've been waiting for the day when I could claim that power for myself." With a swift movement, Verona lunged toward Malina, her claws outstretched. Orion reacted instantly, leaping in front of Malina and intercepting Verona with a powerful swipe of his paw. The two cats clashed in a flurry of fur and claws, their movements swift and fierce. Malina watched in horror as the fight unfolded before her. Verona was relentless, her eyes filled with a dangerous determination. But Orion was strong and quick, blocking her attacks and countering with precision. "Run, Malina," Orion shouted between strikes. "Find safety." But Malina couldn't move. She was frozen in place, torn between the fear of losing Orion and the burning desire to protect the power within her. She couldn't let Verona win, not after coming this far. Summoning all her courage, Malina reached for the pendant around her neck. It glowed brightly in her paw, and she felt the energy surge through her body, stronger than ever before. She had always feared her power, but now she understood that it wasn't something to hide from. It was something to embrace. "Verona?" Malina called out, her voice steady and strong. Verona paused, her gaze snapping toward Malina. "What do you think you're doing?" she hissed. Malina took a deep breath, her eyes blazing with newfound determination. "You're not taking my power. This hair, this magic, it belongs to me, and I won't let you have it." With a flash of silver light, Malina's hair began to glow, brighter than ever before. The energy coursed through her, and she felt a wave of power rise within her, pushing outward. Verona's eyes widened in shock as a gust of wind, charged with magical energy, swept toward her, forcing her back. Verona stumbled, her claws scraping the ground as she tried to regain her balance. "No, this can't be," she screamed, her voice filled with rage. But the power of the wind was too strong, and Verona was thrown back into the shadows of the forest, disappearing from sight. The forest grew quiet once more, the only sound being the soft rustling of leaves in the wind. Malina stood there, breathing heavily, the glow of her hair slowly fading. Orion walked over to her, his gaze filled with admiration and concern. "Are you okay?" he asked softly. Malina nodded, though her heart was still pounding. I didn't know I could do that." Orion smiled, his eyes warm. "Your power is stronger than you realize, Malina, and you were brave to face her like that." Malina looked at him, her heart swelling with gratitude and something more. She had always feared her power, but now, with Orion by her side, she felt stronger than ever before. "I couldn't have done it without you," she said quietly, meeting his gaze. Orion gently touched her paw with his own, a soft smile playing on his lips. "We're in this together now, Malina." no matter what happens. As the two of them sat by the lake, the moon shining down on them, Malina knew that her journey wasn't just about finding the star spring anymore. It was about discovering her true self, her power, and the love she had found along the way. Here's a continuation of The Heavenly Haired with the story transitioning to Gabby's Dollhouse. Chapter 4. Welcome to Gabby's Dollhouse. After the intense confrontation with Verona, Malina and Orion continued their journey toward the Forgotten Peaks, the magic of the Star Spring still pulling them forward. But as they trekked through an enchanted forest one afternoon, something unexpected happened. The wind picked up, swirling around them in a powerful gust. Malina's hair glowed brightly, and before she could even react, a portal opened before them, a shimmering, swirling vortex that seemed to call out to her. "Orion!" Malina shouted, grabbing onto him as the wind tugged at their fur. "What's happening?" "I don't know," Orion called back, struggling against the pull of the portal. But despite their efforts, the force was too strong. The portal engulfed them both, and in an instant, they were whisked away into a world unlike any they had ever known. When the whirlwind finally stopped, Malina found herself lying on a soft, colorful floor. Blinking in confusion, she slowly sat up and looked around. The world around her was bright, cheerful, and filled with oversized furniture and playful decorations. It felt like they had landed inside a giant playhouse. Orion groaned beside her, shaking his head as he got to his paws. Where are we?" Malina took in her surroundings, her eyes wide with wonder. "I'm not sure, but it looks like we've been transported to some kind of dollhouse." Before they could make sense of it all, a cheerful voice rang out, and a girl with a warm smile and cat ears appeared. She wore a rainbow-striped shirt and carried a magical backpack. "Hi there," the girl said, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "I'm Gabby. Welcome to Gabby's Dollhouse." Malina blinked in surprise. "Gabby's Dollhouse? Is that where we are?" Gabby nodded enthusiastically. "Yep. You're in a magical dollhouse where anything can happen. And it looks like you two found your way here through one of our portals. That happens sometimes." Orion looked around warily, still on guard from their recent encounter with Verona. "This place, it's so different. Are we safe here?" Gabby smiled reassuringly. "Oh, don't worry. Gabby's Dollhouse is a place of fun and creativity. We've got all kinds of friends here who would love to meet you. Come on, I'll show you around." Malina couldn't help but feel a sense of relief. After everything they had been through, this world felt like a much-needed break from the dangers they had faced. She exchanged a glance with Orion, who nodded in agreement. "All right," Malina said, smiling at Gabby. "Show us around." Gabby led them through the various rooms of the dollhouse, each one filled with colorful surprises. They met Keiki, a sweet and friendly cat who loved baking, Pandy Paws, Gabby's playful sidekick, and Baby Box, who was always ready to craft something new. Every room seemed to come alive with magic and joy, and Malina felt herself relaxing for the first time in days. But even in this whimsical world, the pendant around Malina's neck continued to hum with power. She could feel the connection to the Star Spring growing stronger, as though this world, too, held a piece of the mystery she sought. As they entered the fairy tale garden, a beautiful outdoor space filled with blooming flowers and soft sunlight, Gabby turned to Malina with a curious look. "Hey, Malina," Gabby said thoughtfully, "there's something special about you, isn't there? I can feel a kind of magic around you." Malina hesitated for a moment, then nodded. "I'm on a journey to find the Star Spring. My hair? It has a connection to it. I'm trying to understand my power." Gabby's eyes lit up with understanding. "That sounds amazing. Maybe we can help you. This dollhouse is full of magical surprises, and we've solved lots of mysteries together. Plus, we love helping new friends." Malina smiled, feeling a warmth in her chest. "That would be wonderful. Thank you, Gabby." As they continued to explore the garden, a gentle breeze blew through the air, carrying with it the faint sound of a melody. Malina's ears perked up, and she followed the sound to a hidden corner of the garden, where a small, sparkling fountain bubbled with crystal-clear water. "The Star Spring!" Malina gasped, her eyes widening in awe. The fountain's waters shimmered with the same magical energy she had felt in her pendant, and she knew without a doubt that this was a part of the Star Spring. Gabby and Orion joined her, their eyes filled with wonder as they gazed at the fountain. You found it, Orion said softly, his voice filled with pride. Gabby smiled warmly. I told you this dollhouse was full of surprises. Looks like the magic of Gabby's dollhouse brought you one step closer to your destiny, Malina. Malina knelt beside the fountain, her heart pounding with excitement. She dipped her paw into the sparkling water, feeling the power of the star spring flow through her. The pendant around her neck glowed brighter, and her silvery hair shimmered in the soft light. This is only the beginning, Malina whispered, her voice filled with determination. I still have a long way to go, but with this, I'm one step closer to unlocking my true power. Gabby placed a hand on Malina's shoulder, her smile full of encouragement. And we'll be here to help you every step of the way. That's what friends are for. Malina looked at Gabby, Orion, and the magical dollhouse around her, feeling a deep sense of gratitude. She had found more than just the Star Spring. She had found a place of friendship and support where she could face her challenges with strength and love. With renewed determination, Malina knew that no matter where her journey took her next, she would face it with courage. And with her new friends by her side, she was ready for whatever the future held. Here's a continuation of Chapter 4, where Malina shares her sad backstory with Gabby and the others. As the warm breeze flowed through the fairy tale garden, Malina felt a bittersweet mixture of relief and sorrow. Finding the Star Spring was a huge step forward, but the memories of her past lingered, especially the betrayal she had faced from Verona, her once trusted maid. The joy of Gabby's dollhouse contrasted sharply with the shadows that still loomed in her heart. Sensing Malina's shift in mood, Gabby gently asked, Malina, is something bothering you? You can tell us, you know. We're here for you. Malina sighed, her silvery hair falling over her eyes as she sat down beside the sparkling fountain. Orion sat close to her, his gaze filled with understanding. Gabby, Pandypaws, and Keiki gathered around, their expressions soft with concern. Verona wasn't always like this, Malina began, her voice trembling slightly. She used to be kind, caring, even. She raised me after my parents left on their own journey. She was more than just a maid. She was like family. Or at least that's what I thought. Gabby sat down beside Malina, listening attentively. What happened? Malina's eyes filled with sadness as she stared into the shimmering water of the fountain. As I got older, I started to notice things. Verona became more secretive, more controlling. She was always watching me, making sure I didn't stray too far from the manor. She said it was to protect me, but I could feel that something wasn't right. Malina paused, taking a deep breath before continuing. One day, I overheard her talking to someone who wanted to use my hair's magic for their own purposes. I didn't know who they were, but I heard Verona promise them that she would find a way to control me and take the power of my hair. That's when I knew she had been lying to me all along. Gabby's eyes widened in shock, and Pandypaws gasped. That's awful, Pandy exclaimed. How could she do that to you? Malina shook her head sadly. I don't know. I thought I could trust her. But all she cared about was my power. She didn't care about me. Orion placed a comforting paw on Malina's shoulder. You're not alone anymore, Malina. We're here with you now. Malina looked at him, her heart aching with gratitude. Thank you, Orion. And thank you, Gabby. It means so much to me to have friends who actually care. Gabby reached out and held Malina's paw. You're safe here, Malina. No one can hurt you in Gabby's dollhouse. And if Verona ever tries to come after you again, we'll stand by your side. Keiki, who had been quiet until now, stepped forward with a warm smile. And when all this is over, we'll bake the most delicious cake to celebrate. A sweet treat always makes everything better. Malina couldn't help but smile at Keiki's offer. That sounds wonderful, Keiki. I'd like that. As the sun began to set over the magical garden, casting a warm golden glow over everything, Malina felt a sense of peace settle over her. For the first time in a long time, she felt safe. Gabby's dollhouse was a place of healing, where the darkness of her past couldn't reach her. Surrounded by new friends who truly cared, Malina knew she was stronger than ever before. But even as she found comfort in the dollhouse, she couldn't shake the feeling that Verona was still out there, waiting for the right moment to strike. Malina knew that she couldn't stay in Gabby's dollhouse forever. She had a destiny to fulfill, and Verona wasn't going to give up easily. With the support of Gabby, Orion, and her new friends, Malina was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. And no matter what happened, she knew that she would never again have to face her battles alone. Here's a continuation of Chapter 4 with the story transitioning to Cattown Market. The peaceful atmosphere of Gabby's dollhouse had given Malina a much-needed sense of security. However, the next morning, things began to take a strange turn when Gabby mentioned that she and her friend Sally were heading to Cattown Market to pick up some groceries. Malina hesitated, but something deep inside urged her to go along. She couldn't shake the feeling that this trip might lead to another piece of the puzzle in her journey. Cattown Market is such a fun place, Gabby said cheerfully as she packed her magical backpack. You'll love it, Malina. It's full of cute little shops and stands, and there's always something new to discover. Sally, the blonde-haired girl with bright blue eyes, smiled softly at Malina as she walked in, ready for the trip. Sally's calm and gentle demeanor always brought a sense of comfort to the others in the dollhouse, and Malina couldn't help but feel at ease around her. Ready to go? Sally asked, her blue eyes sparkling with kindness. Malina nodded, trying to push aside the uneasy feeling in her stomach. Yeah, I'm ready. The group made their way to the market, which was bustling with activity. Cats of all colors and sizes moved about, shopping for fresh produce, handmade crafts, and all sorts of trinkets. The air was filled with the sound of lively chatter and the sweet scent of flowers from nearby stands. It was a vibrant, cheerful place that seemed worlds away from the darkness Malina had left behind. As they wandered through the market, Gabby and Sally chatted happily while picking out groceries. Malina kept a watchful eye on her surroundings, her instincts telling her that something wasn't quite right. Then, from the corner of her eye, she saw her. Verona. Malina's heart skipped a beat as she spotted her former maid standing by a stall filled with exotic fruits. But something was different. Verona's usual menacing presence was masked by a smile so warm and friendly that it made Malina doubt her own memories. She wore a simple apron, and her posture was relaxed, as if she were just another friendly shopper. Malina froze, her eyes locked on Verona. Could it really be her? Was Verona pretending to be someone else, or had she somehow changed? The questions swirled in Malina's mind, but she couldn't shake the feeling that this was all part of Verona's plan. Sally noticed Malina's sudden stillness and followed her gaze to Verona. Oh, do you know her? Sally asked curiously. She's new in town. I met her just a few days ago. Her name's Veronica, and she's been really helpful at the market. Veronica. Of course, she would change her name slightly to blend in. Malina's fur bristled, but she forced herself to stay calm. Verona, or Veronica, hadn't noticed her yet. Maybe it was better to keep it that way. Yeah, Malina said quietly, trying to hide her unease. I think I know her, but I'm not sure. Sally smiled. Well, she seems really nice. I even invited her to have tea at the dollhouse sometime. Malina's heart skipped another beat. Tea at the dollhouse? That couldn't happen. If Verona got close to them again, who knew what she would do? Just as Malina was about to say something, Verona turned and spotted them. Her eyes locked onto Malina's, and for a brief moment, something dark flashed in her gaze. But then, just as quickly, her expression softened into that same sweet smile she had been wearing before. Oh, hello there, Verona called out, waving cheerfully. It's so nice to see some friendly faces here at the market. Gabby waved back, oblivious to the tension radiating from Malina. Hi, Veronica. We're just picking up some groceries. How's your day going? Verona approached them, her smile never wavering. Oh, it's been wonderful. The market is such a lively place, isn't it? And I've met so many lovely people. Sally here has been such a sweetheart. Sally blushed slightly. Oh, it was nothing. Just a few friendly chats. Malina felt her stomach twist with anxiety. She had to say something, had to warn Gabby and Sally. But how could she do that without revealing everything? And what if Verona had really changed? What if Malina was wrong about her intentions? As Verona chatted with Gabby and Sally, Malina took a deep breath and tried to calm herself. She couldn't let Verona manipulate her again. She had to be smart, had to stay one step ahead. Orion, who had accompanied them to the market, noticed Malina's discomfort and gently nudged her side. Are you all right? He asked quietly, his voice filled with concern. Malina nodded, though her mind was racing. I don't trust her, she whispered, "but I can't tell if she's pretending or if she's really changed." Orion frowned, his eyes narrowing as he observed Verona from a distance. "We should be careful. If she's pretending, she might be planning something. But if she's truly changed, maybe we can find a way to keep her from hurting you." Malina took comfort in Orion's presence, but the uncertainty gnawed at her. Verona, or Veronica, was a master of deception. If she had managed to fool Gabby and Sally, what chance did Malina have of exposing her without putting everyone at risk? As the group continued their shopping, Malina kept a close eye on Verona. She had to stay vigilant, had to protect her friends. But one thing was clear. No matter how nice Verona seemed, Malina couldn't let her guard down. Not yet. As they wrapped up their visit to Cattown Market and began heading back to Gabby's dollhouse, Malina's mind was filled with questions. Who was the real Verona? And what would happen if she made her way into the dollhouse? One thing was certain. This wasn't the last time Malina would face her old maid. The next encounter would be even more dangerous, and Malina would need all the strength and courage she could muster. Here's a continuation of the story, transitioning to nighttime at Gabby's dollhouse. Chapter 4, continued, Nightfall in Gabby's dollhouse. As the day came to an end and the stars twinkled outside the windows of Gabby's dollhouse, a peaceful calm settled over the house. The vibrant energy of the market had given way to a quieter, more serene atmosphere. Gabby had already changed into her cozy pajamas, and most of the dollhouse residents were preparing for bed. In the soft glow of the night, Sally and Keiki took on the comforting role of settling their little ones down for the night. Sally, who had become like a motherly figure in the dollhouse, was tucking in her twin kittens, Lily and Leo. They were playful little fur balls, always full of energy. But as the night grew later, their eyelids drooped, and they curled up in their small beds. "Good night, my sweet kittens," Sally whispered, gently brushing her fingers through their soft fur. "Sleep tight. I'll see you in the morning." Lily purred softly as she snuggled into her blanket. "Good night, Mama Sally," she murmured sleepily, her tiny paws twitching as she began to drift off into dreams. Leo, always the more curious of the two, peeked up at Sally with wide, sleepy eyes. "Will you be here when we wake up?" he asked, his voice filled with innocence. Sally smiled warmly and kissed his forehead. "Of course, Leo. I'll always be here for you. Now close your eyes and rest." Satisfied with her answer, Leo finally let sleep take over, his little body relaxing into his bed. Sally watched them for a moment, her heart full of love for the two kittens. Even though they weren't her biological children, Sally had come to care for them deeply. The dollhouse had become her home, and the residents her family. In the kitchen, Keiki was busy preparing bedtime snacks for his two little baking apprentices, Sprinkle and Puff. The two young kittens had helped Keiki bake some cookies earlier in the day, and now they were happily munching on a few small treats before bed. "Just one more bite, then it's time to brush your teeth and head to bed," Keiki reminded them in his usual cheerful tone. Sprinkle giggled, her whiskers twitching as she nibbled on her cookie. "But bedtime cookies are the best. Can we have more tomorrow?" Keiki chuckled and patted Sprinkle's head. "We'll see, Sprinkle. Now finish up, and let's get you both ready for bed." Puff, who was usually the quieter of the two, nodded sleepily and finished his cookie. "Okay, Keiki. Good night." Once the kittens were tucked into their beds in the dollhouse's cozy little nursery, Keiki and Sally met in the hallway. The house was quiet now, with only the soft sound of breathing from the little ones filling the air. "You're so good with them," Keiki said softly, giving Sally a smile. "They're lucky to have you." Sally blushed slightly, her gentle nature shining through. "Thank you, Keiki. I love them as if they were my own. And you're always so sweet with Sprinkle and Puff. They adore you." Keiki grinned, his frosting-like fur glistening under the soft light. "I just do what I can to make everyone happy. That's what the dollhouse is all about, right?" Sally nodded, her thoughts briefly drifting back to the day's events at the market. She had felt something strange from Malina earlier, a tension that seemed to grow whenever Veronica was nearby. Sally hadn't wanted to press the issue, but now, in the quiet of the night, she wondered if there was something more she should know. "Keiki," Sally began hesitantly, "do you think Veronica is really as nice as she seems? I don't know why, but I get the feeling that something's not quite right." Keiki tilted his head thoughtfully. Well, she's been friendly enough, but Malina did seem uncomfortable around her, didn't she? Maybe we should keep an eye on things, just in case. Sally nodded, relieved to have Keiki's support. Yes, I think that's a good idea. I just want to make sure everyone's safe, especially the little ones. As they stood in the quiet hallway, their conversation was interrupted by a soft sound from the nursery. Sally quickly peeked inside, her heart instantly melting at the sight. Both Lily and Leo had fallen asleep, their tiny bodies curled up together in a warm embrace. The sight was so peaceful, so perfect, that it pushed away any lingering worries for the moment. "Sleep well, my sweet kittens," Sally whispered, gently closing the door behind her. With the little ones finally settled, Sally and Keiki decided to call it a night themselves. The day had been long, and they both needed rest. But as Sally lay in her bed later that night, she couldn't help but wonder what the future held. Malina's journey wasn't over yet, and if Veronica was truly Verona, danger might still be lurking in the shadows of Gabby's dollhouse. As the dollhouse grew quiet and the moonlight bathed the rooms in a soft glow, the peacefulness of the night masked the uncertainty of the days ahead. But for now, everyone was safe, and that was enough to bring Sally and Keiki some comfort as they drifted off to sleep. Here's a continuation of the story, introducing a more eerie turn to the night at Gabby's dollhouse. As the peaceful night settled over Gabby's dollhouse, the moon cast a soft glow through the windows, illuminating the quiet rooms where everyone slept. The air was calm, and the gentle sounds of deep breathing could be heard as the residents of the dollhouse drifted further into their dreams. But outside, in the garden surrounding the dollhouse, the atmosphere was anything but serene. At first, it was just a whisper, a faint rustling in the bushes, barely noticeable. Then, slowly, dark shapes began to emerge from the shadows. The moonlight cast long, eerie silhouettes of figures creeping along the garden paths. These shadows moved with purpose, their forms unnervingly familiar. They weren't just ordinary shadows. They resembled someone with a presence that Malina had feared for so long. The shapes took on the appearance of Verona. Their dark, misty forms shifted and flickered in the light, but the tall, slender figure with a flowing cloak was unmistakable. It was as if the maid they had seen earlier in the day had somehow multiplied into shadowy copies, each one silently approaching the dollhouse. Inside, Malina stirred in her sleep, her dreams troubled by visions of Verona. She saw the maid standing in front of her, smiling that sickeningly sweet smile, but her eyes were cold, calculating. In the dream, Verona's voice echoed in Malina's mind, whispering words of deceit and power. "You can't escape me, Malina. You'll never be free of your past." Suddenly, Malina awoke with a gasp. Her heart pounded in her chest as she sat up, her silvery hair falling around her face. She quickly glanced around the room, but everything seemed normal. The soft sounds of the night surrounded her, and the gentle ticking of a clock on the wall reassured her that she was safe. But something felt off. Malina quietly got out of bed and tiptoed to the window. As she peered outside, her breath caught in her throat. There in the garden, she saw them, the shadows. Dozens of dark figures, all resembling Verona, creeping ever closer to the dollhouse. The shadows moved with an eerie silence, their forms bending and shifting like smoke. Malina's stomach twisted with fear. "What is this?" she thought. "How can this be happening?" She had to warn the others. Quickly, Malina ran down the hallway, her paws barely making a sound as she hurried to Gabby's room. She knocked gently but urgently on the door. "Gabby? Gabby, wake up," she whispered, trying not to startle anyone too much. Gabby groggily opened her eyes and sat up, rubbing her face. "Malina, what's wrong?" It's her," Malina stammered, her voice trembling. "Verona, or something like her? Shadows? Outside. We're not safe." Gabby blinked, her sleepiness quickly replaced by concern. She got out of bed and joined Malina at the window. When she saw the dark figures moving outside, her eyes widened in alarm. "Oh no," Gabby whispered. "We need to wake everyone up." Malina nodded, and together they hurried through the dollhouse, quietly waking up their friends. Sally, Keiki, and the others quickly gathered in the living room, all of them still groggy but alert. They listened as Malina explained what she had seen. "Shadows of Verona?" Sally asked, her voice filled with disbelief. "But how? She was just at the market earlier today." I don't know, Malina admitted, her voice shaky. But they're out there, and we have to do something. If we don't, they might try to get inside. Orion, always calm in the face of danger, stepped forward. We need to protect the dollhouse. Gabby, do you think we can use the dollhouse's magic to keep them out? Gabby nodded, trying to remain calm. Yes, I think so. The dollhouse is strong, but we have to work together. Everyone, let's move quickly. The group sprang into action, gathering in the center of the living room. Gabby reached into her backpack and pulled out a glowing key, the magical key that connected her to the dollhouse's heart. She held it tightly in her hand, focusing on the energy of the dollhouse and drawing strength from it. As Gabby concentrated, the walls of the dollhouse seemed to shimmer with a soft, protective light. The magical energy flowed through the house, creating an invisible barrier around them. The light grew stronger, and soon, the entire dollhouse was encased in a warm, golden glow. Outside, the shadowy figures halted in their tracks, as if sensing the protective barrier. They lingered at the edges of the garden, unable to cross the threshold. For a moment, it seemed as if the shadows might retreat. But instead, they stood still, watching, waiting for an opportunity to strike. Malina's heart raced as she watched the figures from the window. She knew this wasn't over. Verona, or whatever force was controlling these shadows, wouldn't give up so easily. But for now, they were safe. Gabby, still holding the glowing key, turned to her friends. We're protected for now, but we need to figure out what's causing this. Malina, do you think Verona could be controlling these shadows? Malina nodded slowly, her eyes fixed on the figures outside. I think so. She's always had a way of manipulating the darkness. But I don't know how she's doing it now, or why. Orion stepped forward, his voice steady. Then we need to find out. We'll face this together, just like we always do. Gabby smiled, her determination shining through. That's right. No matter what happens, we'll stick together. We've faced challenges before, and we'll face this one too. As the night continued, the shadows remained outside, unable to enter the dollhouse, but refusing to leave. Inside, the friends huddled together, ready to protect their home and each other. Whatever dark force was threatening them, they knew that as long as they stood united, they could face anything. Here's a continuation of the story, bringing a brighter turn to the tense night at Gabby's dollhouse. Chapter 5. A Brighter Light. The night had grown darker and colder as the shadowy figures continued to linger outside Gabby's dollhouse. The protective glow around the house kept them at bay, but the eerie stillness and the presence of the shadows filled everyone with unease. Malina's heart raced as she stood by the window, watching the figures and wondering what their next move would be. Suddenly, a new light appeared in the sky, much brighter and warmer than the golden glow protecting the dollhouse. It wasn't like the pale, cold moonlight. No, this light was radiant, golden, and pure, shining from far above the clouds. The shadows seemed to recoil at its presence, shifting and flickering as if trying to hide from it. Malina gasped as she looked up, her eyes widening in awe. From the clouds, a small figure began to descend, surrounded by the brilliant glow. It was a little angel, her wings shimmering with golden light as she gracefully floated down toward the dollhouse. Her presence brought an overwhelming sense of peace and hope, as if all the darkness in the world couldn't touch her. The angel landed softly in the garden just outside the dollhouse. The shadows, which had been menacing only moments ago, seemed to shrink in fear. They cowered at the edges of the garden, no longer able to advance. The angel's light was too strong, too pure for them to bear. Gabby, Malina, and the others rushed to the door, watching in awe as the angel approached. She was small, no bigger than the kittens in the dollhouse, with soft, glowing hair and kind, gentle eyes. Her wings fluttered softly behind her, leaving a trail of golden sparkles in the air. Who are you?" Gabby asked, her voice filled with wonder. The little angel smiled warmly, her voice soft and melodic as she spoke. "I am Seraphina, a guardian from the heavens. I've come to protect you and your home from the darkness that has tried to enter." Malina stepped forward, her heart pounding with a mixture of relief and awe. You came to defeat Verona? But how did you know?" Seraphina's smile remained gentle, but there was a knowing wisdom in her eyes. The heavens watch over all, and when darkness threatens the light, We intervene. Verona's power came from a place of great anger and hurt, but her time has ended. She was defeated in the clouds far above this world. What you see here are only shadows of what once was. Malina's eyes filled with tears of relief. So, she's gone? Truly gone? Serafina nodded. Yes, Malina, you are free now. Verona can no longer hurt you or anyone else. Her shadows will fade with the dawn, and peace will return to this place. Gabby and the others exchanged looks of disbelief and joy. It was hard to believe that the danger was over so suddenly, but the warmth of Serafina's light filled them with hope. The weight of fear that had hung over the dollhouse seemed to lift, replaced by a sense of peace and safety. The angel turned her gaze to the shadows at the edges of the garden. With a gentle wave of her hand, a beam of golden light shot out from her palm, illuminating the entire garden. The shadows shuddered and began to dissolve, melting away into the night. One by one, the dark figures disappeared, leaving nothing but the soft glow of Serafina's light in their wake. When the last of the shadows had vanished, the angel turned back to the friends, her smile brighter than ever. The darkness is gone now. You are safe. Sally, who had been quietly standing with Keiki, stepped forward and knelt down to Serafina's height. Thank you, she whispered, her voice full of gratitude. You've saved us all. Serafina gently touched Sally's hand, her touch warm and comforting. It is my duty to protect those who live in the light. You are all part of something very special here in Gabby's dollhouse, and the heavens will always watch over you. Gabby smiled brightly, feeling a wave of relief wash over her. We're so grateful, Serafina. Thank you for coming to help us. Serafina nodded, her wings fluttering softly as she prepared to ascend once more. Remember, the light within you is always stronger than the darkness. Keep it alive, and no shadow will ever harm you. With those final words, Serafina lifted off the ground, her golden wings carrying her back up into the sky. The glowing light of her presence faded as she rose higher and higher, until she was just a bright star in the heavens once more. The dollhouse was peaceful again, bathed in the soft glow of moonlight. Inside, everyone breathed a collective sigh of relief. The terror of the night had passed, and they were all safe. Malina felt a sense of freedom she hadn't known in a long time. Verona was truly gone, and she could finally start to heal from her past. Gabby turned to the others with a smile. I think we can all sleep a little easier now. Malina nodded, her heart lightened by Serafina's words. Yes, I think we can. As the friends returned to their beds, a new sense of calm settled over Gabby's dollhouse. The light within them was strong, and together they knew they could face anything the world threw their way. And as the night continued, the stars twinkled brightly in the sky, one of them shining just a little more brightly than the rest. Here's the start of the next chapter, with Malina preparing to leave Gabby's dollhouse. Chapter 6. A New Beginning. The sun rose gently over Gabby's dollhouse, bathing the world in soft morning light. After the eventful night, the house felt peaceful once again, as if the shadows and the danger they had brought were nothing more than a distant memory. Malina stood at the front door of the dollhouse, her heart both heavy and light at the same time. She had spent the night in safety, surrounded by friends who had cared for her and protected her. But now, with Verona's shadow finally gone, and Serafina's blessing still fresh in her mind, she knew it was time to move forward. It was time to leave the dollhouse and start a new chapter in her life. Gabby, Sally, Keiki, and the others gathered around her, each of them offering their support and love. They knew this moment was bittersweet for Malina, but they also understood that it was necessary for her journey. Gabby stepped forward, holding out a small, shiny key on a delicate chain. Malina, this is for you, she said with a warm smile. It's a special key from the dollhouse. It'll always remind you that you have a place here with us, no matter where your journey takes you. Malina's eyes welled up with tears as she accepted the gift. The key felt warm in her hand, its surface smooth and comforting. She looked up at Gabby and smiled through her tears. Thank you, Gabby. I'll treasure this always. You've all been so kind to me, and I'll never forget it. Sally, standing beside Gabby, reached out to take Malina's hand. Remember, Malina, you're never alone. We're just a key away if you ever need us. You've been through so much, but you're strong, and you'll find your way. Keiki, ever cheerful, handed Malina a small box wrapped in colorful paper. "And don't forget, there's always a sweet treat waiting for you if you ever come back." "A little something for the road," he said with a wink. Malina laughed softly, her heart swelling with gratitude. "You're all amazing. I'm so lucky to have met you." The warmth and love from her new friends filled Malina with the courage she needed to take the next step. She turned toward the door, the golden key hanging around her neck like a protective charm. As she stepped outside, the sun's rays bathed her in light, and for the first time in a long time, she felt truly free. The garden, once filled with shadows, was now vibrant and full of life. Flowers bloomed brightly, and the gentle breeze carried the scent of fresh morning dew. Malina took a deep breath, letting the fresh air fill her lungs. This was a new beginning, one that she had longed for but hadn't known how to reach. She looked back at the dollhouse, her friends standing in the doorway, waving and smiling. Gabby, Sally, Cakey, and the others had become her family, even if only for a short time. They had given her hope when she thought she had none, and now it was time to carry that hope with her into the world beyond the dollhouse. With one last wave, Malina turned and began walking down the garden path, the key around her neck a constant reminder of the love and friendship she had found. She didn't know exactly where her journey would take her, but she knew one thing for certain: she was no longer bound by fear or the shadows of her past. As Malina walked, the sunlight followed her, casting long, golden beams that seemed to guide her way. The world was wide and full of possibilities, and for the first time, Malina felt ready to face it with open paws and an open heart. Whatever awaited her out there, she knew she had the strength to face it. Thanks to the friends she had made at Gabby's dollhouse and the light that now shone brightly within her. Here's the continuation of the chapter from Malina's point of view. Chapter 6, A New Beginning. The sun's golden rays warmed Malina's fur as she stepped outside Gabby's dollhouse, the light casting a soft glow on the garden. The once ominous shadows had vanished, leaving the world bathed in the warmth of a new day. With every step she took away from the dollhouse, Malina felt the weight of her past lifting, replaced by a hopeful lightness. The garden path stretched out before her, lined with flowers in full bloom, their colors vivid and bright. The morning air was fresh, carrying the sweet scent of dew and blossoms. Malina took a deep breath, letting the tranquility of the scene wash over her. It was a stark contrast to the darkness she had faced only hours before. She glanced back at the dollhouse, where Gabby, Sally, Cakey, and the others stood at the door, waving with smiles of encouragement. The sight filled her heart with warmth and gratitude. They had given her not only a safe haven, but also a sense of belonging she hadn't known she was missing. As she walked down the garden path, Malina's thoughts drifted back to the night's events. The terrifying shadows, the arrival of Serafina, and the soothing words of her new friends all seemed like fragments of a dream. Yet, the golden key around her neck was a tangible reminder of the kindness and courage she had found here. She let her fingers brush against the key, feeling its reassuring weight. It was more than just a piece of metal. It was a symbol of hope, a token of the new beginnings she had been given. Malina realized that this key wasn't just a gift, it was a promise that she was never truly alone, that the light she had found would always guide her. The path led her through a lush meadow where the grasses swayed gently in the breeze. Malina felt a sense of freedom she had not experienced in a long time. The world before her was wide and full of possibilities, and for the first time, she felt ready to embrace it. As she walked, she replayed the words of her friends in her mind. Sally's promise that she was never alone, Cakey's gift of a sweet treat for the road, and Gabby's kind words of encouragement all echoed within her. They had become her family, even if only for a short while, and their support had given her the strength to move forward. Malina knew that the journey ahead would not be easy. There would be challenges and uncertainties, and she might encounter shadows from her past. But she felt a new resilience within her, a confidence born from the love and kindness she had experienced. The darkness she had once feared now seemed smaller and less daunting. The road stretched out ahead, winding through rolling hills and meadows. Malina's gaze followed the path as it meandered into the distance. She had no set destination, no clear plan, But that was okay. For the first time, she felt that she could make her own way, guided by the light within her. As the morning sun continued to rise, Malina took one last look back at Gabby's dollhouse. The house stood nestled in its garden, a beacon of warmth and friendship. She smiled, knowing that this chapter of her life had come to an end, but a new one was beginning. With a deep breath and a heart full of hope, Malina set off down the path. Each step was a step toward her future, a future filled with possibilities and promise. The world was open and waiting for her, and she was ready to face it with the light and strength she had found. As she walked, she felt a gentle breeze at her back, as if the very air was cheering her on. Malina knew that whatever lay ahead, she had the courage and the support of her friends to carry her through. And with that thought, she stepped into the new day, ready to embrace whatever adventures awaited her. Here's the next chapter, continuing Malina's journey at the lake where she first met her true love. Chapter 7. Echoes of Light. The sun had reached its zenith as Malina made her way through the rolling hills and meadows, her paws moving steadily along the winding path. The peaceful tranquility of the landscape was a welcome change from the turmoil she had experienced. Her heart felt lighter with each step, and the promise of new beginnings seemed to guide her. After a few hours of walking, Malina found herself arriving at the lake she had visited before. It was a serene spot, nestled in a quiet corner of the countryside. The water sparkled under the midday sun, reflecting the azure sky and the surrounding greenery. Memories of her first encounter with her true love here brought a soft smile to her face. Malina approached the edge of the lake, feeling a deep sense of calm wash over her. She knelt by the water, cupping her paws to drink the cool, refreshing liquid. As she lifted her head, savoring the moment of peace, a familiar sensation began to stir in the air. A bright, golden glow began to emanate from the surface of the lake, spreading outward in shimmering ripples. The light was warm and inviting, much like the one she had seen when Serafina had arrived. Malina's heart quickened as she looked around, searching for the source of the radiant glow. Suddenly, the golden light intensified, and from the center of the lake, a figure began to emerge. It was ethereal and radiant, the light surrounding it so bright that it was difficult to see the form clearly. But as the figure drew closer, Malina could make out the shape of a feline, their fur glistening with a golden sheen. Malina's breath caught in her throat as the figure approached the shore. The glowing feline was her true love. Her heart knew it instantly. The warm, loving presence that had touched her life before was here once again. The figure stepped onto the shore, the golden light gently fading to reveal a familiar face. Her true love's eyes sparkled with the same depth and warmth that Malina remembered. "Hello, Malina," the figure said, their voice as soothing as a gentle breeze. "Hello," Malina replied, her voice trembling with emotion. "I didn't expect to see you here." Her true love smiled, their presence radiating a comforting warmth. "I felt your journey and knew it was time to see you again. I wanted to remind you that you are never alone, that the light we share will always guide you." Malina's eyes filled with tears as she took in the sight of her true love. The glow of the lake seemed to weave around them like a protective embrace. "I've been through so much, and it's been so hard to find my way. But seeing you here, it feels like a sign that everything will be all right." Her true love nodded, stepping closer and touching Malina's paw gently. "The journey you are on is a path of discovery and growth. The light we share is a beacon, guiding you toward your true self and your true purpose. Remember, even in the darkest times, you carry that light within you." Malina nodded, feeling a renewed sense of purpose and hope. The golden glow around them was not just a physical light, but a symbol of the inner strength she had discovered. She realized that the love she had found was not just about the connection she shared with her true love, but also about the strength and guidance it provided. "I'll keep this light in my heart," Malina said softly. "It will remind me of the strength and love that surrounds me." Her true love smiled warmly, their eyes filled with pride. "And I will always be with you, even if not in sight. Our bond is eternal, and the light we share will guide you wherever you go." With a final tender touch, her true love began to fade into the golden light once more. The glow became a brilliant shimmer on the surface of the lake, and as it gradually dimmed, the figure was no longer visible. Yet, the warmth and love remained, lingering in the air like a soft, comforting embrace. Malina stood by the lake, her heart full and her spirit renewed. The encounter had given her a fresh perspective on her journey. The golden light had reminded her of the love and strength that were always with her, even when she felt alone. As she took one last look at the now tranquil lake, Malina felt a renewed sense of confidence. She knew that her journey was far from over, but with the light and love she carried within her, she was ready to face whatever lay ahead. With a deep breath and a heart full of hope, Malina continued down the path, ready to embrace the adventures and challenges that awaited her. The golden glow of her true love would always be a guiding light, helping her navigate the journey ahead. Chapter 8: A Guardian's Revelation. As the golden light around the lake began to fade, Malina stood in awe, her heart still aglow from the encounter. She had felt a deep connection, a reassurance that her true love was with her. But as the light continued to dim, she began to sense that something was amiss. The warmth and familiarity she had felt were comforting, yet there was a lingering sense that she had not fully grasped the nature of the figure she had met. The light settled into a soft, radiant shimmer on the lake's surface. Malina, still filled with wonder, gazed out at the water, trying to make sense of what had just happened. The figure's golden hue was fading, revealing a more ethereal presence. Suddenly, the light began to concentrate in a specific spot on the lake, forming a figure that was no longer bound by the shape of her true love, but was now distinctly different. The ethereal being took on a new form, one that was both majestic and gentle, with radiant wings and an aura of serene authority. It was Seraphina, the angel guardian who had visited the dollhouse. "Malina," Seraphina's voice echoed softly, carrying a melody of divine warmth and wisdom. "I am not your true love, though I understand why you might have felt that way. I am your guardian, sent to guide and protect you." Malina's eyes widened in surprise and realization. "Seraphina? But I thought—" The angel smiled gently, her wings fluttering softly. "It is understandable. The light of an angel can often be mistaken for something more personal. I am here to offer you guidance and comfort, not just as a guardian, but as a friend." Malina took a deep breath, trying to process this new revelation. But why appear as my true love? I felt such a strong connection. Seraphina's gaze was filled with compassion. "Sometimes, when we are in need of reassurance, the light we offer can take on a form that resonates most deeply with the one we are helping. In your case, the form of your true love was a reflection of the strength and comfort you needed at that moment. But my purpose here is to remind you that the guidance and protection I offer come from a place of pure light." Malina nodded, a mixture of relief and curiosity in her heart. "I understand. It was still comforting to see you, even if you weren't who I first thought." Seraphina's smile remained serene. "I am glad to hear that. The journey you are on is one of self-discovery and growth. My role is to ensure that you have the support you need and to remind you of the light that always surrounds you." The angel extended her hand, and a soft, shimmering light encircled Malina. "Remember, Malina, the light you seek is not always in the forms you expect. It is within you and around you, guiding you even when you cannot see it. My presence is a reminder of that truth." Malina felt the warmth of Seraphina's light envelop her, filling her with a renewed sense of purpose and clarity. She realized that the true love she sought was not just a figure or a destination, but a part of her journey, a journey that was supported by the divine guidance of her guardian. "Thank you, Seraphina," Malina said, her voice filled with gratitude. "I will carry your light with me and remember that I am never alone." The angel nodded, her wings spreading gracefully. "You are always accompanied by light, even in the darkest times. I will always be near, watching over you and guiding you." With a final, radiant smile, Seraphina began to ascend, the golden light trailing behind her like a comet. The angel rose higher and higher, merging with the sky and leaving behind a soft, lingering glow that reflected off the lake's surface. As the last of the light faded, Malina stood by the water, feeling a profound sense of peace and understanding. She had learned that the guidance she sought was not confined to any single form or presence, but was an ever-present force in her life. With the memory of Seraphina's light and the comfort of knowing that she was always protected, Malina continued her journey. The path ahead was still uncertain, but she now carried with her the reassurance of divine guidance and the strength of her own inner light. As she walked away from the lake, Malina felt a deep sense of purpose. She was ready to face whatever lay ahead, knowing that she was supported by the light of her guardian and the strength that came from within. Chapter 9, A Path to Heaven. As the last of Seraphina's light dissolved into the sky, Malina stood by the lake, her heart filled with a mix of awe and contemplation. The ethereal presence of the angel had left her with a profound sense of peace, but there was still a lingering question in her mind. Just as she was about to continue her journey, Seraphina's voice echoed softly as if carried by the wind. "Malina." Seraphina's voice called gently, "There is something more I must tell you." Malina turned, her gaze scanning the tranquil lake and the surrounding landscape. "Seraphina? Is that you?" The golden light reappeared, forming once again into the angelic figure of Seraphina. The angel descended gracefully, her wings shimmering in the sunlight. "Yes, it is I. There is a path that lies ahead, one that offers a profound transformation and a new beginning." Malina's curiosity was piqued. "A transformation? What do you mean?" Seraphina's eyes were filled with compassion. "You have shown great strength and resilience on your journey, and your heart is pure. There is a choice before you, one that involves a significant change. If you wish, you can enter heaven, a realm of ultimate peace and joy. But to do so, you must undergo a transformation into an angel yourself." Malina's eyes widened in surprise. "Transform into an angel? What does that entail?" Seraphina's expression was gentle. "The transformation will allow you to become a part of the celestial realm, where you will experience a life of eternal light and harmony. You will have the opportunity to live in heaven, a place of unparalleled beauty and tranquility. However, this path requires you to embrace the essence of an angel, to let go of your earthly form and embrace a new existence." Malina's mind raced with the possibilities. The idea of entering heaven was enticing, but the thought of leaving her earthly life behind was daunting. "I've never imagined such a choice. I found so much comfort and support here on earth. Is this transformation necessary?" Seraphina nodded, her wings fluttering gently. "The choice is yours, Malina. It is not necessary, but it is an opportunity for a new beginning. In heaven, you would experience a life free from the struggles and fears of the earthly realm. You would be surrounded by light and love, and your purpose would be to guide and support others from a place of profound peace." Malina took a deep breath, considering the weight of Seraphina's words. Her journey had been filled with challenges and growth, and the idea of entering heaven was both tempting and overwhelming. "If I choose this path, what will happen to my life here? What about my friends and the world I've come to know?" Seraphina's gaze was reassuring. "Choosing to become an angel means embracing a new existence. You will leave your earthly life behind, but you will carry with you the love and wisdom you've gained. Your friends will remember you with fondness, and your journey will have touched their lives in meaningful ways. The choice to enter heaven is a step toward a different kind of existence, one that offers eternal peace and fulfillment." Malina looked out over the lake, her reflection shimmering in the still waters. She thought of Gabby, Sally, and the others, her friends who had shown her so much kindness and support. The idea of leaving them was difficult, but the prospect of an eternal life of peace was equally compelling. "I need time to think," Malina said finally. "This is a big decision, and I want to be sure." Seraphina smiled gently, her light softening around her. "Of course, take the time you need. I will be here, guiding you and offering support. The choice is deeply personal, and it must come from your heart." With that, Seraphina's form began to fade, the golden light becoming a soft, warm glow that lingered for a moment before dissipating. Malina stood alone by the lake, the weight of her decision pressing on her heart. As she took in the beauty of her surroundings and reflected on her journey, Malina knew that whatever choice she made would be a step toward a new chapter in her existence. She felt a sense of clarity, knowing that her path was not just about the destination, but about the journey itself. With a renewed sense of purpose, Malina decided to take the time she needed to explore her feelings and understand her desires. The choice of whether to embrace the transformation into an angel or continue her journey on Earth would be made with care and reflection. The lake, once again calm and serene, mirrored the clarity she sought within herself. Malina knew that whatever her decision, she would face it with the strength and wisdom she had gained on her journey. The path ahead, whether in heaven or on earth, was hers to choose, and she would embrace it with an open heart. Chapter 10: Embracing the Eternal Light. As the sun began its descent toward the horizon, casting a warm, golden hue over the lake, Malina sat in thoughtful silence. The decision before her was monumental, and the weight of it pressed gently but firmly on her heart. She gazed out at the serene waters, her mind replaying the words of Seraphina and considering the possibilities that lay ahead. The thought of leaving behind the world she had known, her friends, and the life she had built was daunting. Yet, the idea of embracing a new existence in heaven, a realm of eternal peace and light, was equally compelling. It was a place where she could find ultimate fulfillment and continue her journey in a different form. Malina took a deep breath, feeling the cool, refreshing air fill her lungs. She closed her eyes, letting the tranquility of the lake seep into her soul. The decision to enter heaven was not just about escaping the struggles of her earthly life, but about embracing a new beginning, one filled with endless possibilities and divine purpose. With a heart full of resolve and a sense of peace, Malina made her choice. She stood up, her eyes shining with determination and acceptance. The path before her was clear, and she felt a deep sense of readiness. "Seraphina," Malina called out softly, her voice carrying across the still waters. The golden light began to shimmer once more, and Seraphina reappeared, descending gracefully to stand beside Malina. The angel's presence was warm and comforting, her wings unfurling in a majestic display. "I have made my decision," Malina said, her voice steady and filled with resolve. "I am ready to embrace the transformation and enter heaven." Seraphina's eyes sparkled with approval and warmth. "You have chosen a path of profound significance, Malina. Your courage and willingness to embrace this new existence are truly admirable." The angel extended her hand, and the golden light around her intensified, enveloping Malina in a radiant glow. "The transformation will be a beautiful journey, one that will prepare you for your new life in heaven. Trust in the process and know that you are guided by the light and love that surround you." Malina felt the warmth of Seraphina's light surround her, filling her with a sense of calm and anticipation. The glow grew brighter, and she felt a gentle sensation of lifting, as if she were being lifted into the very essence of the light. As the transformation began, Malina's earthly form began to change. Her fur shimmered and sparkled, taking on a golden hue that mirrored the angelic light. Her body lightened and became more ethereal, her paws lifting off the ground as she began to ascend. The process was gentle and filled with a sense of grace. Malina felt her earthly concerns and limitations dissolve, replaced by a feeling of freedom and boundless potential. The lake, the sky, and the entire world below seemed to recede, becoming a distant memory as she moved further into the radiant light. Seraphina watched over her with a serene smile, her presence a constant source of support and guidance. "You are becoming a part of the divine realm, Malina. Your essence is merging with the light, preparing you for your new life in heaven." As Malina's transformation neared completion, she felt a profound sense of unity with the light. Her consciousness expanded, embracing the divine presence that surrounded her. She was no longer bound by the limitations of her earthly form, but was becoming a part of the eternal, radiant essence of heaven. When the transformation was complete, Malina stood as a celestial being, her form radiant and pure. She looked at her new self with a sense of wonder and fulfillment, feeling a deep connection to the divine realm and the endless possibilities that awaited her. Seraphina, now by her side, offered a final, warm smile. "Welcome to heaven, Malina. Your new life begins now, filled with light, love, and purpose. You will continue to grow and evolve, guiding and supporting others as you embark on this new chapter." Malina nodded, her heart brimming with gratitude and joy. "Thank you, Seraphina. I am ready to embrace this new existence and fulfill my purpose." With that, Serafina led Malina further into the celestial realm, where the beauty and tranquility of heaven awaited. Malina felt a profound sense of belonging and peace as she stepped into her new life, knowing that she was surrounded by eternal light and love. The journey that had begun at the lake had led her to a place of ultimate fulfillment and divine purpose. Malina was ready to embrace her new role and continue her journey in the celestial realm, guided by the light and love that would always be with her. Does this continuation align with your vision for Malina's story? Chapter 11. The Echoes of Loss. The morning light filtered gently through the windows of the dollhouse, casting a warm glow over the cozy rooms. Gabby, Sally, and the other residents were starting their day with their usual routines. The cheerful atmosphere of the dollhouse was a stark contrast to the growing sense of unease that lingered in the air. Sally, with her golden hair tied back in a neat ponytail, was busy preparing breakfast in the kitchen with Keiki. The smell of freshly baked pastries filled the air, a comforting scent that was meant to bring joy. Gabby was in the living room, arranging her collection of dollhouse items with a content smile. It was a day like any other, or so they thought. The peaceful morning was interrupted by a sudden knock on the door. Gabby answered it, finding a messenger standing on the porch, a solemn expression on his face. "I have a message for you," he said, handing her a letter sealed with a golden wax insignia. Gabby took the letter with a puzzled look and opened it carefully. As she read the words, her face went pale, and her heart sank. The message was from the celestial realm, announcing the passing of Malina and her transformation into an angel. It was a letter of profound sadness and respect, detailing the honor of Malina's new existence and the grief of her departure. Sally and the others gathered around as Gabby read aloud, her voice trembling with each word. "Dear friends of Malina, it is with deep sorrow that we inform you of the passing of Malina. She has been transformed into an angel and has ascended to heaven. Her earthly journey has ended, but her spirit and light will continue to shine brightly in the divine realm." A heavy silence fell over the room as the reality of the news sank in. The sense of loss was palpable, and tears began to flow freely. Gabby's heart ached with the weight of the message, and she struggled to process the news. "No, it can't be true," Gabby said, her voice choked with emotion. "Malina can't be gone. She was just here, and we were making plans." Sally, trying to hold back her own tears, spoke up. "We have to remember the good times we shared with her. She brought so much light and joy into our lives." In a corner of the room, Malina's true love had been quietly listening. The news had hit him with a profound impact, his heart breaking as he realized the depth of the loss. He had felt a connection with Malina that was beyond words, and her departure left a void that was hard to comprehend. "Malina," he whispered, his voice filled with sorrow. "She was my guiding light. How do we go on without her?" The group gathered in a circle, each person feeling the weight of the loss in their own way. The dollhouse had been a place of joy and wonder, and now it felt emptier without Malina's presence. They shared stories of her kindness, her courage, and the moments that had made her special to them. As the day wore on, the residents of the dollhouse found comfort in each other's company. They lit candles in Malina's honor and placed them around the living room, creating a warm, flickering glow that symbolized her enduring light. Each candle was a reminder of the love and joy she had brought into their lives. Gabby, with tears in her eyes, spoke softly, "Malina's light will continue to guide us, even though she's no longer here with us. We must honor her memory by carrying forward the kindness and love she shared." Sally nodded in agreement. "She may be gone, but her spirit will live on in our hearts. We must remember the joy she brought and continue to share that with others." Malina's true love looked at the candles, feeling a sense of connection to the light that still shone brightly in the room. He knew that while Malina was no longer physically present, her essence and the impact she had made would continue to be felt. As evening fell, the residents of the dollhouse gathered for a quiet moment of reflection. They shared stories of Malina, reminisced about their time together, and found solace in their memories. The glow of the candles illuminated their faces, a gentle reminder of the light that Malina had brought into their lives. Though the pain of her loss was deep, The love and warmth that Malina had shared with them remained a guiding light, a beacon of hope and inspiration. Her memory would live on, and her legacy would continue to touch their lives in meaningful ways. The night closed around the dollhouse, and as the residents drifted to sleep, the flickering candles cast a soft, comforting light. Malina's spirit was felt in the warmth of the room, a gentle reminder that while she was no longer with them in body, her presence and the love she had shared would continue to guide them through the darkness. Chapter 12, A Letter to the Heavens. In the quiet of the evening, as the candles flickered softly around the dollhouse, Gabby sat at her desk, her heart heavy with the weight of Malina's loss. The room was filled with a somber stillness, and the glow from the candles cast gentle shadows across the walls. Gabby picked up a pen and a blank sheet of parchment, determined to write a letter to Malina, a letter that would express her love, her sorrow, and her gratitude. Gabby took a deep breath and began to write. Dear Malina, as I sit here, surrounded by the warmth of our memories and the soft glow of the candles we've lit in your honor, I find myself at a loss for words. The news of your passing has left a void in our hearts that seems impossible to fill. It feels as though a piece of our world has been taken from us, leaving a silence that echoes with your absence. But even in this silence, I am filled with a profound sense of gratitude for having known you. You were a beacon of light in our lives, bringing joy, kindness, and warmth wherever you went. Your presence was like a gentle breeze that brightened even the darkest of days, and your spirit touched each of us in ways that words cannot fully express. I remember the moments we shared, the laughter, the adventures, and the simple, everyday joys. Your courage and grace were inspiring, and your kindness was a reminder of the beauty in the world. You had a way of making everyone feel special and loved, and for that, we are eternally grateful. Though you are no longer with us in body, your spirit remains a guiding light. We see your presence in the flicker of these candles, in the warmth of our memories, and in the love that you left behind. Your journey has led you to a place of eternal peace. And while we are sad to see you go, we are comforted by the knowledge that you are surrounded by the light you so richly deserve. We will carry your memory with us, cherishing the moments we shared and honoring the legacy of love and joy that you created. As we move forward, we will strive to embody the kindness and warmth you brought into our lives, continuing to spread the light that you so generously shared. I hope that wherever you are, you can feel the love and gratitude that we send to you across the realms. You will always be a part of us, and your spirit will continue to inspire and uplift us. With all my love and heartfelt thanks, Gabby. Gabby put down her pen, her eyes misty with tears. She had poured her heart into the letter, hoping that it would reach Malina in some way, even if only as a symbol of the love and respect they had for her. Next, Gabby took a deep breath and began to write a poem, a tribute to Malina that would capture the essence of her spirit and the impact she had made. To Malina, our guiding star, in the quiet of the night, where the stars softly gleam, we remember your light like a bright, distant dream. You danced through our days with a grace so sincere, and your presence brought warmth, chased away every fear. Your laughter was music, a melody sweet, your kindness a gift, so gentle and neat. With every warm hug and every bright smile, you made every moment truly worthwhile. Though you've journeyed to skies where the angels reside, your light still surrounds us, a beacon and guide. In the flicker of candles and whispers of breeze, we feel your embrace in the rustling of trees. We'll carry your memory in hearts that are true and honor the love that we shared with you. For though you have left us and soared up above, you remain in our hearts, a symbol of love. Rest now in the heavens, where light never fades, and know that your spirit will forever pervade. For you are our star, in the sky shining bright, guiding us gently through the darkness of night. Gabby finished the poem with a sense of quiet resolve. She carefully folded the letter and poem, placing them in an envelope. She knew that sending them to heaven was symbolic, but it was a way for her to express the depth of her feelings and the impact that Malina had made on her life. With a heavy heart, but a sense of peace, Gabby placed the envelope on a small table in the living room, where it would be a permanent tribute to Malina's memory. The room was filled with the soft, comforting light of the candles, and Gabby felt a sense of connection to her friend, a bond that transcended the boundaries of life and death. As the night deepened, the residents of the dollhouse gathered once more, finding solace in each other's company and in the glowing tribute to Malina. They knew that while she was no longer with them, her spirit and the love she had shared would continue to guide and inspire them. Chapter 13: A Celestial Response. The night passed quietly in the dollhouse, with the flickering candlelight casting a serene glow over the room. Gabby and the others slept fitfully, their hearts heavy with the loss of Malina. As the first light of dawn began to creep through the windows, a soft, shimmering glow appeared in the living room, centering on the envelope that Gabby had placed on the table. The golden light enveloped the envelope, gently lifting it into the air. Slowly, the envelope began to open by itself, and the contents were bathed in a warm, celestial glow. As the light faded, a new letter emerged, one that seemed to have been written in the very essence of starlight. The letter was addressed to Gabby, written in elegant, flowing script that shimmered with a divine radiance. The dollhouse residents, now awake and gathered around, looked on in awe as Gabby carefully opened the letter. The words inside were imbued with a sense of tranquility and grace, carrying the voice of Malina from the celestial realm. Dear Gabby, I have received your beautiful letter and poem with a heart full of gratitude and love. It means more to me than words can express to know that my time with you has left such a profound impact. In the celestial realm, where I now dwell among the stars, I feel a sense of peace and fulfillment that transcends all earthly concerns. The light and love that surround me here are beyond anything I could have imagined, and I am comforted by the knowledge that you and my other friends are carrying forward the warmth and joy we shared. Your letter touched my heart deeply. It reminded me of the special moments we spent together, the laughter, and the simple, everyday joys that made our time so precious. The poem you wrote is a beautiful tribute, capturing the essence of what we shared and the bond that continues to connect us, even across realms. I want you to know that while I have left behind the physical world, my spirit is with you always. I am here, watching over you, and sending my love and light to guide you through the days ahead. The candles you lit are a symbol of the warmth and love that I continue to share with you, even from afar. Please find solace in the memories we created together and know that our bond is eternal. As you move forward, continue to spread the kindness and joy that you so graciously shared with me. Your light and love will continue to make a difference in the world, and that is the greatest tribute you could offer. I am at peace and fulfilled, and I will forever cherish the time we spent together. Thank you for honoring me with your love and remembrance. I am with you in spirit, and I send you all my love and blessings. With all my heart, Malina. Gabby read the letter aloud, her voice steady but filled with emotion. The room was filled with a sense of calm and warmth as the words of Malina reached them. Tears of relief and comfort mingled with the smiles that formed on their faces. Sally wiped a tear from her eye and spoke softly. It's so beautiful to know that Malina is at peace and that she still feels connected to us. Her spirit truly is with us. Gabby nodded, feeling a renewed sense of peace. Malina's words are a reminder that our bond transcends even the boundaries of life and death. She is still a part of us, guiding us with her love. The residents of the dollhouse gathered around the table, finding comfort in the letter and in each other's presence. They lit another candle in Malina's honor, placing it beside the envelope as a symbol of the enduring light she had brought into their lives. As the day unfolded, Gabby and the others found solace in their shared memories and in the knowledge that Malina's spirit was watching over them. The celestial response had brought them a sense of peace and closure, and they were ready to move forward, carrying Malina's legacy of love and light with them. The warmth of Malina's words and the glow of the candles continued to fill the dollhouse with a sense of comfort and connection. Though she was no longer physically present, her spirit remained a guiding force, reminding them that love and light endure even in the face of loss. A glimpse of heaven. The morning sun cast a warm golden light over the dollhouse as the world outside continued its routine. Malina's true love, whose heart was still heavy with the loss of Malina, took a walk through the garden, seeking solace in the beauty of the day. The serenity of the morning was a stark contrast to the turmoil he felt within. As he strolled through the lush greenery, he looked up at the sky, hoping to find some peace in the vast expanse above. The clouds drifted lazily across the sky, forming intricate patterns that seemed almost otherworldly. His thoughts were consumed by memories of Malina and the letter that had brought them such comfort. Lost in contemplation, he noticed something unusual. The clouds seemed to shimmer with a soft, golden light, almost as if they were glowing with an ethereal radiance. He stopped and gazed upward, his heart stirring with a sense of wonder and curiosity. The golden light in the clouds seemed to pulse gently, as though responding to his gaze. It was a mesmerizing sight, one that seemed to beckon him with a sense of familiarity and warmth. He felt a strange but comforting sensation, as if Malina was reaching out to him from the heavens. His mind raced with thoughts and emotions. Was this a sign? Could Malina be trying to communicate with him from the celestial realm? The beauty of the moment was overwhelming, and he felt a deep connection to the shimmering clouds above. He closed his eyes, allowing himself to be enveloped by the gentle warmth of the sun and the soothing glow of the clouds. In this quiet, reflective state, he could almost sense Malina's presence, a subtle, reassuring touch that brought him a sense of calm. As he opened his eyes again, the golden light seemed to intensify, forming a distinct shape in the clouds. It was as if the heavens themselves were offering him a glimpse of Malina's new home, a place of peace and radiance that transcended earthly boundaries. The clouds began to shift and swirl, revealing a majestic vision of what looked like an angelic realm. He could see soft, glowing structures and a serene landscape bathed in celestial light. The sight was both awe-inspiring and comforting, a vivid representation of the paradise Malina had ascended to. In that moment, he felt a profound sense of reassurance. The vision of heaven was not just a distant, abstract concept. It was a tangible reality that Malina was now a part of. The golden light and the celestial landscape were a reminder that she was at peace, surrounded by beauty and grace. He took a deep breath, feeling a renewed sense of connection to Malina. Though she was no longer physically present, the vision of heaven provided him with a sense of closure and comfort. He knew that she was in a place of eternal light and happiness, and that knowledge brought him solace. With a final, wistful glance at the golden clouds, he turned and made his way back to the dollhouse. The sight of the heavens had provided him with a sense of peace and acceptance. He felt a renewed sense of purpose and a determination to honor Malina's memory by living his life with the same love and kindness that she had embodied. As he entered the dollhouse, he was greeted by Gabby and the others, who were gathered in the living room. The atmosphere was one of quiet reflection and shared comfort. The golden light from the earlier candles still flickered softly, a reminder of Malina's enduring presence. Malina's true love shared his experience with the group, describing the vision of the celestial realm and the sense of peace it had brought him. The others listened with a mix of awe and understanding, their hearts touched by the message from the heavens. Together, they found solace in the shared experience and in the knowledge that Malina's spirit was at peace. The golden clouds had offered them a glimpse of the divine realm and a reminder that love and light endure beyond the boundaries of life and death. As the day unfolded, the residents of the dollhouse found comfort in their memories and in each other's company. They continued to honor Malina's legacy, carrying forward the love and warmth she had shared with them. The vision of heaven and the golden light in the clouds remained a source of inspiration and reassurance, guiding them through their journey of healing and remembrance. Chapter 15, A Conversation. As the golden light from the clouds continued to shimmer and shift, the ethereal presence of the golden angel grew more distinct. Malina's true love watched in awe as the angel descended slowly from the heavens, a radiant figure enveloped in a soft, golden glow. The angel's wings, delicate and luminous, moved with a grace that seemed both otherworldly and serene. The angel landed gracefully before him, and the golden light gently faded, revealing a figure of gentle beauty and warmth. Her presence was calming, and her eyes held a depth of understanding that transcended earthly concerns. Malina's true love took a deep breath, his heart pounding with a mix of anticipation and trepidation. He approached the angel, his voice trembling slightly. Are you Malina's guardian angel? The angel smiled kindly, her voice as soft and soothing as a gentle breeze. Yes, I am Seraphina, Malina's guardian. I have come to offer you comfort and to share with you the truth of her new existence. He nodded, his gaze fixed on Seraphina. I've seen the vision of heaven and felt a sense of peace, but I still have so many questions. Is Malina truly gone from us, or is she still somehow present in our lives? Seraphina's eyes shone with a gentle light. Malina is not gone in the way you might think. While her physical presence is no longer with you, her spirit and essence continue to exist in a realm of eternal peace and light. She is not lost to you. She is simply in a different place now. He looked at her, seeking further clarity. So she's in heaven. What is it like for her there? Does she miss us? And how can we still feel connected to her? Seraphina's voice was filled with reassurance. Heaven is a realm of profound beauty and tranquility, where the soul finds rest and fulfillment. Malina is surrounded by the light and love of the celestial realm, and she is at peace. Though she is no longer with you in physical form, her love and connection with you remain unbroken. She is aware of your thoughts and feelings, and her presence is felt in the moments of warmth and joy you experience. He took a moment to absorb her words. But how can we cope with the fact that she's not here with us? It's hard to imagine life without her. Seraphina placed a comforting hand on his shoulder. Grief is a natural response to loss, and it is important to allow yourself to feel and express that sorrow. However, remember that Malina's spirit lives on through the memories you cherish and the love you continue to share. She has left a mark on your hearts, and that connection endures beyond the physical realm. The true love's eyes filled with tears. I miss her so much. Is there anything I can do to honor her memory and keep our connection strong? Seraphina's smile was warm and encouraging. Live your life with the same love and kindness that Malina embodied. Share her values and carry forward the joy she brought into your life. Each act of love and kindness you perform is a tribute to her and a way to keep her spirit alive. When you remember her with love, she is with you in those moments. He nodded, feeling a sense of comfort and resolve. Thank you for helping me understand. It means a lot to know that Malina is at peace and that we can still feel connected to her. Seraphina's gaze softened. You are welcome. Remember, the love you shared with Malina is a bond that cannot be broken. Even as you continue your journey, her spirit will guide and support you. With a final, reassuring smile, Seraphina began to ascend back toward the heavens, her golden wings catching the sunlight. The light around her grew brighter, enveloping her in a halo of celestial radiance. As Seraphina disappeared into the clouds, Malina's true love felt a renewed sense of peace and understanding. He watched the golden glow fade into the sky, knowing that Malina's spirit was now in a place of eternal light and love. With a heart full of both sorrow and hope, he turned and made his way back to the dollhouse. The conversation with Seraphina had provided him with the comfort and clarity he needed. He was determined to honor Malina's memory by living a life filled with the love and kindness she had inspired in him. As he entered the dollhouse, he found Gabby and the others gathered in quiet reflection. He joined them, feeling a deep sense of connection to Malina and a renewed commitment to carry forward her legacy. The golden light of the candles continued to flicker softly, a reminder of the enduring love that bound them all together. Chapter 16. The Shadows Over Heaven. As Malina's true love took his first steps back to the dollhouse, the serene beauty of the morning was abruptly interrupted. The lake he had admired earlier took on a strange, unsettling transformation. The once clear water began to darken, swirling into a deep, ominous blackness. Shadows twisted and writhed within the lake, forming grotesque shapes that seemed to pulse with malevolent energy. The peaceful surroundings of the garden were overtaken by an eerie silence. The birds ceased their songs, and the gentle breeze turned into a cold, foreboding wind. Malina's true love stood rooted to the spot, his heart pounding as he watched in horror. From the depths of the darkened lake, a massive shadow began to emerge. The figure was enormous, its form shifting and distorting as it climbed out of the water. The shadow took shape, revealing itself to be Malina's maid, now a colossal, menacing figure of dark energy and malice. Her eyes glowed with an unsettling red light, and her presence radiated an aura of threat and destruction. The shadow giant loomed over the landscape, its dark tendrils reaching out towards the heavenly realms. The once serene and radiant land of heaven was now under threat, as the shadow began to spread its corruption across the celestial landscape. The golden light that had previously enveloped the realm flickered and dimmed, struggling to withstand the encroaching darkness. Malina's true love watched in despair as the shadow giant wreaked havoc, its destructive power threatening to unravel the very fabric of the heavenly realm. The sight was terrifying, and he knew that something had to be done to protect the paradise Malina had found. His thoughts raced, filled with the urgency of the situation. He had to act, but he felt powerless in his current form. The thought of turning into an angel, of becoming a part of the divine forces that could confront this darkness, became a burning desire. He needed to help Malina and save the realm from the impending catastrophe. Determined, he made his way to the celestial realm's entrance, where Seraphina had descended earlier. His heart was filled with resolve as he sought out the guardian angel, hoping she could help him fulfill his wish. Seraphina was still in the vicinity, her presence a comforting glow amidst the growing darkness. He approached her, his voice urgent and filled with desperation. "Seraphina, the shadow giant, Malina's maid, she's threatening heaven. I need to do something. I want to become an angel so I can help protect this realm and save Malina. Please, can you help me?" Seraphina's expression was one of deep concern and understanding. The threat you face is indeed grave. To become an angel is a significant transformation, one that requires both courage and purity of heart. Are you prepared for the challenges that await you? He nodded firmly, his eyes filled with determination. I am ready. I can't stand by and watch as everything Malina loves is destroyed. I need to help. Seraphina placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. Then we shall proceed. The transformation will grant you the power to confront the darkness and protect the heavenly realms. But remember, true strength comes not only from power, but from the love and bravery within you. With a wave of her hand, Seraphina began the ritual of transformation. A brilliant golden light enveloped him, lifting him into the air. The light was intense and warm, filling him with a sense of divine purpose. As the transformation progressed, he felt his earthly form dissolving, replaced by the ethereal grace of an angelic being. When the light faded, he stood transformed, his new form radiant and powerful. His wings, adorned with shimmering feathers, spread wide, and a sense of celestial strength and clarity filled him. He was now an angel, equipped to face the darkness that threatened heaven. Seraphina nodded with approval. You are ready. Go forth and confront the shadow giant, protect the realms, and show the strength of your heart. With a determined nod, the newly transformed angel took flight, soaring towards the darkened skies where the shadow giant continued its assault. The battle ahead would be fierce, but he was filled with a newfound sense of purpose and resolve. He was determined to protect Malina's new home and ensure that the light of heaven would prevail over the encroaching darkness. As he flew towards the source of the threat, the celestial realms began to regain their brightness, the divine forces rallying to counter the darkness. The battle for heaven was about to begin, and the angelic guardian was ready to defend the realm and save the paradise that Malina had come to cherish. Chapter 17. The Battle for Heaven. The angelic figure soared through the celestial skies, his newly transformed wings cutting through the air with grace and power. Below him, the once peaceful landscape of heaven was now marred by the encroaching darkness of the shadow giant. The golden light of the realm flickered weakly against the overwhelming blackness that spread like a disease. As he approached the epicenter of the chaos, the shadow giant loomed larger and more menacing. The dark entity's presence seemed to suffocate the light, casting long, ominous shadows across the once vibrant fields and radiant structures of heaven. The angel could feel the intensity of the malevolent force, and he knew that the battle would be daunting. With a deep breath, he focused his thoughts and channeled the divine energy within him. His wings glowed with a brilliant, golden light as he prepared to confront the shadow giant. The battle would not only be a test of strength, but also a trial of his resolve and purity of heart. The shadow giant roared, a sound that reverberated through the heavens, shaking the very foundations of the celestial realm. Dark tendrils lashed out, striking at the divine structures and spreading further corruption. The angel knew he had to act swiftly to prevent further devastation. He flew directly at the shadow giant, his golden light piercing through the darkness. The giant turned its glowing red eyes toward him, and the air crackled with the tension of the impending clash. The angel summoned a wave of radiant energy, casting it towards the shadow giant. The light collided with the darkness, creating a blinding explosion of golden brilliance that momentarily pushed back the shadowy menace. The giant staggered, but it quickly recovered, its dark form swelling and growing more powerful. It retaliated with a wave of dark energy, which crashed into the angel with a force that threatened to overwhelm him. He struggled to maintain his balance in the face of the onslaught, but his determination remained unshaken. As the battle raged on, the angel found himself locked in a fierce struggle, using every ounce of his divine strength to fend off the shadow giant's attacks. His movements were precise and powerful, each strike imbued with the light of heaven and the strength of his love for Malina. In the midst of the chaos, he saw Seraphina appear, her presence a beacon of hope. She joined the battle, her own radiant light joining forces with his. Together, they fought against the encroaching darkness, their combined energies creating a barrier of light that repelled the shadow giant's advances. The celestial realm's inhabitants, now rallying to defend their home, began to join the fight. Their collective strength and unwavering resolve helped to push back the darkness. The shadow giant roared in frustration, its form beginning to waver as the light grew stronger. In a final, desperate move, the angel gathered all his remaining strength and focused it into a powerful burst of light. With Seraphina's guidance, he directed the energy towards the shadow giant. The golden light surged forward, enveloping the dark entity in a brilliant, purifying radiance. The shadow giant screamed as the light consumed it, the darkness dissolving under the intense brilliance. The once menacing figure began to break apart, its malevolent essence dissipating into the air. With one final flash of light, the shadow giant was vanquished, and the darkness that had threatened heaven was dispelled. As the light faded and the celestial realm began to return to its former glory, the angel took a moment to catch his breath. The skies cleared and the golden light of heaven shone brightly once more. The land was healing, and the beauty of the celestial realm was being restored. Seraphina approached him, her expression one of relief and pride. "You have fought bravely and with great heart. The realm is safe once more, thanks to your courage and determination." He nodded, feeling a deep sense of accomplishment and gratitude. "Thank you, Seraphina. I couldn't have done it without your guidance and support." Seraphina smiled warmly. "You have proven yourself to be a true guardian of the realm. Malina's spirit will be proud of the strength and love you have shown." As the angel looked around at the restored beauty of heaven, he felt a renewed sense of peace. The realm was safe, and Malina's new home was once again a place of light and tranquility. The battle had been hard fought, but the victory was a testament to the enduring power of love and courage. With a final glance towards the heavens, the angel knew that his journey was far from over. There would be more challenges and adventures ahead, but he was ready to face them with the same strength and resolve that had guided him through this battle. He took flight once more, his heart filled with hope and purpose. The celestial realm was at peace, and Malina's memory would continue to inspire him as he carried forward the legacy of love and light. Epilogue: A Celestial Union. The celestial realms had returned to their serene splendor. The once darkened skies were now a tapestry of golden light and soft, radiant hues. The heavens were safe, their beauty restored by the bravery and love of those who had fought to protect them. In a moment of joy and celebration, the angelic figure who had fought valiantly against the darkness revealed his true name, Eric. His transformation had not only granted him the strength to save heaven, but had also allowed him to find peace and purpose in his new existence. Eric and Malina, now both beings of light and love, were united in a celestial ceremony that reflected the beauty of the realms they cherished. The wedding was a breathtaking sight, held in a radiant amphitheater surrounded by shimmering clouds and golden beams of sunlight. The entire celestial realm gathered to witness the joyous occasion, their hearts filled with happiness and gratitude. Malina, adorned in a gown of pure light and grace, walked down the aisle, her presence radiating love and peace. Eric stood at the altar, his angelic wings spread wide, a look of pure adoration in his eyes. The ceremony was a blend of divine elegance and heartfelt emotion, symbolizing the eternal bond between Malina and Eric. As they exchanged their vows, their voices were filled with a deep, resonant love that echoed through the heavens. The vows were not just promises, but declarations of their commitment to each other and to the divine realm they now shared. Their union was a celebration of love that transcended the boundaries of mortal and celestial existence. The celestial townspeople rejoiced in the news of the wedding, their hearts uplifted by the happiness of the couple. The once threatened heavens were now a beacon of hope and light, and the story of Malina and Eric's love became a symbol of the enduring power of love and the triumph of good over darkness. As the ceremony concluded, a grand celebration ensued. The celestial realms were filled with music, laughter, and the soft glow of countless stars. The festivities were a testament to the unity and joy that now permeated the heavens. Malina and Eric danced together, their movements graceful and harmonious, as they celebrated their new life together in the realm of eternal light. The townspeople marveled at the beauty of the celestial celebration, their hearts light with the knowledge that their realm was safe and that love triumphed over adversity. The story of Malina and Eric's journey was shared with joy and reverence, a reminder of the strength of the human spirit and the boundless nature of love. In the days that followed, the celestial realms continued to flourish, their light shining brightly across the cosmos. Malina and Eric embraced their new life with grace and love, their union a testament to the enduring beauty of their journey and the heavenly peace they had achieved. The heavens remained a place of harmony and light, where love was eternal, and where the story of Malina and Eric would be remembered as a shining example of the power of love and the triumph of light over darkness. And so, under the eternal glow of the celestial light, Malina and Eric lived out their days in happiness and peace, their love a beacon of hope for all who gazed upon the heavens. The celestial realms were forever changed by their story, and their legacy would shine brightly for all eternity.